Hey everybody, I'm back. Got a little bit more time to do some streaming. Still, for some reason, don't seem to be able to stream nearly as much as I like, which is super annoying for me, but what can you do? All right, with that though, actually might as well share a little bit about my plans for the next little bit on Satosis here. Here's the actual sort of spawn home itself. I've got no plans to build myself a third home, despite the name of the series yet, ironic enough. But I am thinking, okay, I've got the dripstone farm. I've got the lava farm sitting right over there. I mean these small little cocoa bean and sea pickle farms and all that. But one farm I really want to try and build is I've got a fairly nice design for a creeper slash spider slash sugarcane farm. I actually combines several different farms I've seen with some things I've created as well too. It's based a little bit on ENXO4's design, but with far fewer scaffold. And using a lot more stone. Also, I've switched up the timing circuits a little bit. Also got currently for the sugarcane part, it's an 8-year-old design by Mumbo Jumbo. I'm kind of debating that one a little bit, simply because the basics of it. I mean, it looks like it was actually done before observers, and there are some advantages to using observers versus a timing circuit. One of which being just you don't get hundreds of pistons firing at once, and thus a big lag spike on the server. That's not what you look into. So I'm doing a little bit of math to see what exactly works in terms of observers. On top of that, yeah, also I'm trying to be very careful with my placement of it too. Let's zoom in a bit here. If I've done my math correctly, this post right here sort of marks the bounds for where essentially when you're dealing with spawn chunks or any sort of active chunks, you can sort of divide them into three camps. One where just basically everything is on. Actually, sorry, four camps. One where everything is on. One where redstone is. It's actually three. Okay. One where everything is on. One where redstone works, but mob AI is disabled. And one where both redstone and mob AI don't work. Essentially, dead, chunks and all that. And you can actually be very careful with your lag, if you're doing it. Like, imagine I was to take this thing and throw it, within the spawn chunks themselves. Well, all the hoppers and all that would trigger each and every time if it was on a timing circuit. Um, sorry, all the hoppers would, be active on that and, sucking up CPU cycles. All the mobs would be dropping in, and the server would have to run all that mob AI, which, given there's a ton of spawning spots there, might have problems, and especially for other people on the server too. That could actually chew up their mob cap and make it tougher for them to have their own mob-based farms. So the mob stuff should actually be outside of where mobs spawn. Like that part should be sort of outside of the spawn chunks proper. We do want to be able to transport the stuff though. So it's actually handy to have parts of it within the area where redstone is active, but not necessarily mob AI. Although mob AI also influences other things, such as so like if I was going to use like a water stream and all that. I don't think that works if it's if mob AI is disabled, so I have to be very careful on that one. Outside of there though, that should be fine. So essentially, if I've done my math correctly, this should be a safe spot for a dropper to sort of spit out items into a water stream, and that will go down there. And water streams are very handy for sort of mass transport. You can just spit a ton of them out. Um, for this little part right here, for about 18, I think it'll be a series of hopper lines. And then, right at this, 11 chunk thing, right where the thing would go, this would be where sort of the main hoppers and all that would go. And there might be a little bit of overlap with the spawners up top. I'm not too worried necessarily, as long as it's not too major. One nice thing about having a mob spawner and all that is it really only responds if a player is nearby. And given that I am quite some distance away from spawn, probably a good 128 blocks for the most part, it's really not going to be active, even if it's within a spawn chunk itself. So not a huge deal. I think that would be my next major task, is getting that farm up and running. Now, I do have to do a little bit of work. Again, mentioned the observers versus timing circuits on that. But I'd also like to get work on a flower farm. Now, you might think the best spot for a flower farm would be a flower forest, and in fact, we've actually got one just sitting right over here, which is super handy. The main problem with this, of course, is you can see where it is in relation to spawn. That's kind of terrible and far away. And if you do the math on what exactly flowers will spawn there, there's really only one type of flower that won't. And I think it's one that produces white dye. Sorry, there's one type of flower you can get there that you can't really get elsewhere on other things. The second the second most popular spot actually is a plains biome, and we've got one just sort of sitting right here. I believe this section right here with the pillager thing is a plains biome. If that's the case, that's actually a little bit superior, because another problem with these flower forests is they actually have a very definite sort of noise pattern for where the flowers come up. It's not random. You can see how there's sort of like clumps together of all these flowers right here. That's no accident. That's exactly how Minecraft sets those things up. So in fact, if I were to set up a flower farm on there, one entire container could be just one type of flower, which, depending on what I want, might be exactly what I need or might not. But given there's a really minimal difference between that and using a plains biome, it makes a bit more sense to use the plains biome because flowers don't really cluster over there. There's a little bit of clustering, I think, in terms of, yellow tulips or something else. I've forgotten exactly what it is. But that's just what's more likely to spawn versus not. Otherwise, it's entirely random. So all the spots I get there will get all the flowers there. As long as I can tolerate not being able to generate white dye, who cares. I think that will be the next one over there, is setting up a flower farm. I've actually gotten most of the details worked out. The only real final piece that was sort of set into play was basically it uses a series of trapdoors. I wanted to try and find a way to power that trapdoor line continuously. If I just throw a repeater in there, there's going to be a dead spot where that doesn't work. And after doing a little Googling on, I realized I was being silly, and actually I knew exactly how exactly to fix that problem. So it's either going to be that one or so it's either my next farm's either going to be that flower farm working down over there. And you can also, I'm sorry, and one other thing I forgot to mention is you can see, given how just close it is to spawn, it'd be incredibly easy to sort of dodge out the spawn chunks. Like you can see if I'm somewhere behind this line, it's not going to cause any sort of server lag as long as nobody's there to load it up. Again, this is going to cause a bit of an issue because I'm going to get pillagers popping up everywhere. But if I'm careful with how I handle spawns, shouldn't be a problem. But yes, it's either that, or I set up that creeper slash spider slash sugarcane farm right over here. And I'm kind of leaning towards this one just because it provides propellant. I've got my elytra, which I still don't barely use because, well, I mean, I need a good supply of rockets, and I don't really have that yet. The raid farm certainly helps a bit, but I need something better for that. It'd be great to have it feeding into Spawn Town for that. So I think that'll be my next one right there. Don't hold me to it, of course. I may, I reserve the right to change over, especially since I think the tech for this one is more or less finished. Now that I've got that line in place, I think it's actually a little bit better because with the other one, I've still got to figure out a good way to get sugarcane. That needs a little bit of work. All right. In the meantime, we might as well get back to it. Of course. We're working fine first time. Nighttime? The only one here, but I think the other person might be in the end. Java Scap is if I recall correctly, is actually working on an interment farm, which is great. I mean, I would love to set one up myself, but if someone's gonna beat me to it, sweet. Relatively easy to make. Okay, so with this out of the way, where's my inventory? Let's head over here and tend to my dripstone farm. Oh, right, I'm gonna need water. Water bucket. Okay. And do I have a bunch of junk blocks? I'll grab you. There you go. Alright, let's get. Alright, now I remember last time I was having difficulties handling this section right here. That server glitch was caused by the server essentially running out of, hard drive space. And so it wasn't allowing anyone in. Server settings were set. But it actually changed up a couple of other settings as well. You know, like the difficult is set to easy, for instance, which, no, not good. Okay. So we are back in biz for this. So yes, the server admin reset a bunch of things, and now this is an inefficient way to do it. Let's do it this way. Nice, this is not too low, although I also gotta admit I don't like this stone here. Just because with a pickaxe like this, it'll immediately get rid of it. What I would love to do actually is just bring this one down and cover it with sand. That way I'm not gonna accidentally pop a hole in here. I'll get something like that out of it. I'll be like, oh shoot. Need just a little bit more time to react. All that done. Unfortunately, because I've been neglecting the farm a little bit, a little out of hand. There's a vector plan for growth. Now we got dripstone for days. Like I was floating there a little bit. Thought I was on the fence when in fact I was not. Alright. I've pretty much hit the limit over here, so I'm not going to extend that way. Oh, it is time. We're around here. Have I got enough space? I do. Okay. Okay, so 128 plus 38 is 160. 160 divided by 5 is not 80. 32. Yeah. Okay, so I can make 32 of these suckers. There we go. 32 of you, 38 of you. Well, this is the worst enemy. No, it's in good shape. I'll be fine. Brought some of my scaffold with me. Left side. I think I might be better off actually going from the top down. Like this. Okay, if I've got 32, and I'm doing a row of 4, then that's 8 rows in total. It'd be row 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect, okay. Send out a little bit. Pop you out. 2, 4. Good, now again. Pop you out. Oh well. This is why we use garbage blocks. In theory, that would be popped. Ouch. Goodness for those little shoes. Alright. Scaffolding would have been really nice. But I should pop these in one. Perfect. Nice, okay. Get laying this stuff out. Perfect, yes, I nailed that. Right, alright. All fine, but now we throw a little bit of water in. Okay. Nice, okay. That's got the upper part. Now, though, I still need to go down, fill in the lower. Or work. The counting isn't just for show either. Make sure that I've got it covered here. Got enough for one more block. Right. And I mean, I don't really... Oh. I'll pull this down. Hold down. Uno momento. Hopefully it took care of that. Alright. Room for one more. Not gonna do it. Look at that. Isn't that just a lovely little dripstone farm? Alright. I'm content though. Let's go over and move on to my gear. Bring up my overlays and everything, even though it's probably not too visible right now. No, I want to focus more on the other gear. So in terms of gear, I've got my helmet, chest plate, and shears that I really want to sort of figure out. I don't really know necessarily that I want to do a flint and steel. Just because I mean, how many times do you actually use a flint and steel in practice? You know, definitely once or twice, but it's not sort of like a habit. So I think in my case, I'm gonna pull out armor. Remember where I put all this stuff? Nope, not armor. Although that is my cruise control right there. Tons of rockets. I gotta start using them more. It's probably over in tools then. Here we go. Shears I'm going to want. Breaking 3 and mending. I think that's the only things that go on there. So let's pull out all my books. Crosswalker, no. Don't need that. Might as well bring this one out. Let's use it. And just grindstone these two bows together. Alright. Alright, with that out of the way, and a ton of levels. Incidentally, yes, I have been hard at work in the raid mines. Okay, shears. What shall I call you? Of course. Scissors. Sounds about right. Oh yeah. Alright. So with that, the special formatting. And I think it was that. Yes. Shears are now done. Okay, so what have I got to do with my chest plate? And also a helmet too, right? Anything in here I can take advantage of? Alright. Diamond chest plate. Yeah, I've got nothing on them, so Aqua Affinity is nice. A good start for the bow. I basically need a little bit of everything here. So, mending, protection, unbreaking. Oh, blast protection. Got fire protection on there. Do I have any mending books? According to my thing, I do, but in fact, I do not. Let's get rid of that. So that, 15 minutes later, when I look back at it, I don't go, oh, shoot. That's all handled. In fact, it is not. Alright. So, I'm going to need a bunch of books. Got one book. Okay, let's just make a bunch more. My axe with me. X. That spot. Okay. What are you doing up there, buddy? Got Aqua Affinity, but I've already got Aqua Affinity, so thank you. Yeah, a lot of that too. Need more mending, so at least 2 mendings, bunch of protections. The lantern there, that's cool. They fell down, good. Alright, well. Oh wait, that's right. Got name tags. Alright, so let's use that to keep track of some of these things. Mending already should be name tags, so it doesn't really matter. Mending in here again. The good news is, they're very predictable in where they go. The bad news, of course, is it's been long enough that I've forgotten where everybody is. There's protection. The bookcases? Excellent. Take one of your bookcases first. A couple of bookcases, please. There we go. That'll do. Cheers. Yeah, well. There we go. 9 books. Protection? But, yeah. Alright, I'll take 1, 2 of those. That'll get me protection 4. Oh, but I need a bunch more, so... No, I do not. Alright. This is why we carry wallet in terms of this. Okay, Mr. Protection. Like another 2, please. There we go. That'll handle all my protection needs. As well. Good. Keep all this stuff in here. I've still got 5 books. So next up will be, I guess, unbreaking. There we go. Well, thank you. Gonna need 2 unbreaking 3s, please. How do these diamonds go so fast? Sorry, emeralds. Okay, 2 unbreakings. Down to respiration and bending. Nice, and I got 3 books left, so in theory that's all of it. Oh, it's for boots. Done with boots. Okay, I know exactly who mending is just by their clothes. Blast protection. Okay, you would be worth naming. Blast protection 3. Frostwalker. Blast blood 3. Frostwalk 2. Blast P3. Frost W. Frostwalker 2. Perfect. Cleric. Alright, I guess mending is over on this side. There we go. Mending. Oh, actually I'm going to need 3 mending books. Nope. I don't have mending for me bow. No, I don't. Okay, so that takes care of all my mendings. This is so much more... You know, that grind it took for hours and hours to get all of these things. Totally worth it. Why can't I just come along and be like, oh, hey, I like this. Thank you. Oh, yeah, so I need a name tag, too. Grab a couple name tags while we're here. One more, please. Thank you. And if you don't mind, sir, I would like 3 name tags. Thank you. Off a few more of these. Oh, now botch this up. It's just respiration 3, and I need more books. No books? Wait, sorry. Oh, fire aspect. For the inventory, though. Here we go. I don't want to open it to you. Got me another bunch of books, especially since there isn't a lot back at the main area there. Action, no. Impaling, no. Efficiency, no. Flame. Oh, it's just respiration 3. Okay. Where's Respo? Oh, back, no. Okay, you're a weirdo. That's my bad. Fire protection. Oh, you're still fire protection. Weirdo. Knockback. Nope. Depth stride. No, I want Respo. Where'd Respiration 3 go? I'm gonna be very disappointed if that was one of the villagers that died. Sadly, might be it. Oh, Fortune, Infinity. Nope. Yeah. Frostwalker. No. Unbreaking. Thank you. No. Respiration. Give me respiration. Alright. Let's just go around the room then. Fortune, Infinity. Not. Breaking. Code. Power, loyalty, lure. Nope. Actually. Here. Okay, we'll name one of these guys Fortune 3. Alright, I'm gonna have to ditch something. What do I need to combine? Probably some mendings and unbreakings. Mending. Breaking. Mending. Oh, I need to combine the protections. Do that. Okay, now I've got protection for mending and unbreaking, so that's actually enough to do gas plate. Yes. Mending and unbreaking first? Guess I'm doing that now. Alright. A really good name on the fly. Oh, not basic chest. Air chest? No. You know what? Fine. Since it really is relatively simple. Like, there's not even any thorns on this one, so might as well bear chest it. You know, whatever. Well, locations. Okay, so it's helmet and bow. And do I have unbreaking? Yes. Combine these two. Acrofinity and protection. That's better. That works. Breaking. So okay, it's just respiration. Now for the bow. Back up ahead. Okay, so I've got flame and power 5. Need mending and unbreaking. Dude, I need another unbreaking book. Alright, let's find Fortune 3. Power 5, nope. Congrats, you are now handled. Weirdo. Fortune 3. Oh wait, I need another unbreaking, that's right. So, give me unbreaking, please. Not gonna heal anything, unfortunately. Okay, so... Ending, unbreaking. Oh no, I get that one. works. So these ones can then combine onto the bow. Flame or punch 2 is all that I'm missing for the bow. So it's punch 2 and respiration 3 are the only other ones I want. Alright, let's get looking. Oh. Okay, I've pretty much been all through here. Here. Knockback, no. Respiration, no. Feather falling form, no. Keeping edge, no. Sharpness, no. Respiration, punch. Respiration, punch. Fire protection 4, nope. 1, nope. Candy, thorns 2. Nope. Nope. Respiration 3, gotcha. Long last. On the bow side, you should be over there. Okay, that's enough to protect off my helmet. But I also need punch 2, so let's find punch 2. Healing. Okay, now we're getting to the slam dance thing, so... Poke touch now. Ooh, curse of binding. Don't want it. Alright, well, I got enough to finish off my helmet. Or blast P, okay. Alright. The helmet gets... 4 on breaking. Oh, small. Oh. Oh, actually, hang on a sec. You can see I'm running a little bit low on my levels, so... Get unbreaking and protection, or unbreaking and mending on first. Protection, aqua, infinity. Oh, I'm 1 level short. Alright, a bunch of levels short. Oof. Level short for you. Including my respiration. You will need to be combined. Alright, well, thank goodness someone has an an iron farm server, so I can do this. Thank you very much. An amble in here? I think I may have. Yeah, I did. Yeah, whatever. Now we have a spare. Yeah, no, I've got no levels. In fact, I can't even name things. Shoot. Alright. I guess name tags are gonna have to sit. Books can be returned. These are all fine. So, alright, it's just me helmet. It needs a little bit of work. And respiration. So. Pretty good, okay. Let me work this off. I suppose I could always go to the cleric and, you know, get a ton of potions on it, but that's useful for just small levels. So it'll help me with the name tags. It won't help me with anything else, though. Mind you, I mean, we need to name everything, so I might as well do that, too. Oh, yes, and I still have not located punch. Alright, okay. Will I need to throw a little bit of yet? I'll be you guys, okay. I guess now that they're filing away, now is my time. Alright, who needs a name, though? Feather falling? No. 5 has one, I think. Who do I name? Who do I name? Okay, well, let's just go. Grab Mr. Cleric here. Oh, for 6, actually. Yeah, oops. Forgetting I need to repair some of the stuff. Well, I guess now I'm just going and doing repairs. Oh, darn. Not like I don't have an endless supply of emeralds or anything. There we go. Everybody's all tidied up now. Good. Okay. What do I want to name for a librarian here? Last protection. Good. I need punch too. Oh. Respiration 3 we're going to name. Right with, oh yeah, you've been named. Respiration, sweeping edge 3. Oh, respiration 3, sweeping 3. Respiration 3, sweeping. Respiration 3, sweeping. Respiration 3. A sweeping 3. Edge 3. Get out of there. Sure. Don't touch now. Get yourself some sleep. Back. Yeah. Your respiration. Boop. Perfect. Marvelous. For fortune. Strider 3. 2. Punch. Punch. Five. Lame. Nope. Maybe to one side. There you go. You go and have yourself a nap. Fire protection. Nope. Blast protection. Might be punch that's missing then. Nope. That falling 4. Where were you again? Back 2. Back to piercing. Get this thing feeling it's punch that's missing. Ding power. I'll take 2 more of these name tags. Oh, and 2 tags with which to name. I checked you. Not. Literally one last librarian. Power, loyalty, lure. Okay. We're missing punch then. You know. I may have to grind that one out on my own. Tell you what. I am happy with my gear as it stands now. So let's go and... Oh. 2 librarians. Darkness is probably the... back now? No. 4. Feather falling 4. Fire 4, feather 4. Fire 4, feather 4. Fire 4, feather 4. There. I went through a lot of emeralds too. Let's just acknowledge that. Fire protection. Perfect. You. What are they falling for? Perfect. Okay. Alright. As the name suggests, I am in the market for some glazed terracotta. Now, why exactly? I did my homework when it comes to the minaret. In fact, switch over to showing that off a little bit. There's some designs along the side here, which I don't, it's way too ornate to do with individual blocks. But of course, these designs were designed, were inspired by other designs. And looking through, and these have been, of course, inspirational to others. And looking through the Minecraft catalog, it turns out white terracotta and yellow terracotta are very similar patterns to these. Maybe even green terracotta to some extent. Look. Maybe green for some. Right, actually, I do have a mason that sells green. No. Where's Mason? Mason! You. Not your... That. So where's me, Mason? Was it you? No, Toolsmith. Terrible at identifying Masons. There you are. I bet you that's you. No, not your cleric. Never mind. What did I say? A little bit of green terracotta would be nice. A novice armor. Novice armor in here. Armor. Weaponsmith. Well, it's job duty time anyway, so it'd be pretty obvious who does what pretty quick. Goldsmith. Blast furnaces. Again. Oh, that's right. There's a mason, they'll be over by the stone cutter. Not sure. Oh, wait, here you go. Yeah. I saw one over here. Alright, well, tell you what. Also gotta figure out... There is a novice Fletcher amongst our ranks here. There you go. So one of these 2 blocks has to go. Well, she's hanging over here. Fletcher novice, so that was not the proper block. That's the lovely thing about having so many No. It looks like it's over here somewhere. Either of those two. Either that. Traded with or something? Yeah, you're traded with. Okay, no wonder it's not taking. Alright. I'm being silly. I apologize. Alright. Back. Goldsmith. Fur. Armor. Nobody hanging out down here. Whatever. Time's wasting on the day. Right, where is my boat? My boat? Guess it's inside here. I didn't see it. Tell you what, let's just go outside and get enough wood for another boat. I mean, I'm kind of low on wood anyway, so... Time's a wasting. Do a single row of these, because I think we've still got enough spares sitting in inventory that I can afford to do lossless trees for a little bit. And look at that. Look at how many of those trees I've got. Oh, okay, the server has. It's not just my inventory. Alright. Have a hoe, do I? I need at least 2 for that. Oh yeah, and I should clean up my inventory too, since I've got a bunch of stuff which probably should not be. Tell you what. Take you and move you down there. That way if that mason ever returns, or figure out just what exactly they're doing, they'll get over there. Oh, no, that is you. Okay. Got a little bit of green terracotta. And you see if I glaze it. Let's just see what it looks like glazed. How are we doing for time? Yeah, you can see the slam dance has already started, so... I don't know, I think that's enough time to run off. Alright, let's build me a boat. Oh. Back. Tons of emeralds still. Where's it armor that I'm doing? Oh, I've got more space in tools, so I might as well pop them in there. Alright. Duration 3 I'll pop over there just to make it visually distinct. Need you guys at the moment. We'll be needing you though, since I am going for the axe round just in case. I'm going for clay. I'm gonna have to be digging. Unfortunately, I don't think I've got enough time to finish that before day's up. Tell you what. look at what you look like. Not bad. I think it would actually fit in well with that design, quite frankly. Okay, tell you what. I lied, I'm gonna go back over here. What? Got a bunch of you. We go around for some glazed terracotta. Yeah, look at that. Almost nighttime. Oop. Got the eye patch on. What about you then? Barber? You look different. Oh, leather worker. Not you, not you. Eye patches. Bunch of empty beds. Armor. Goldsmith? No. Smith. There we go. Where are these I'm gonna want? Go with 7 just to be safe. Gonna grab me an app. Now we begin the search. Oop. Ash you in for safekeeping. You in for safekeeping. Or anything like that. Everything else I can pretty much afford to lose, or would rather take with me. So, all right, let's go hunting for some clay. Thanks. How much is already forming down? So cool. Anyway. First up when searching for clay is to go to sort of the nearest water source. And in fact, we've had this little oasis just sitting over here for a while. This, I think, will be sort of my inspiration for what I install over there and by the, that thing. Mural that I put in there. Gravel, gravel, gravel. Oh, you look like clay. Yeah, there we go. Clay. A little bit more over here. More. What do I do? Dirt. You're gonna keep giving me clay. I'm just gonna keep taking it. Back. That's all of it for now. There's a weird series of holes here, so let's... There we go, wee bit done. Alright, now I'm going to want a collection of white and yellow of that. So let's grab my dye box and get to work. Alright, so I said white and yellow. Excellent. Oh. First, yeah, it does need to. Okay. Don't mind. Put you into 4. Pull you out of there. We want the orange terracotta. Let's see, while I'm there, I'm going to want some sandstone stairs. Definitely some rough sandstone, too, to help build up the walls. Get some cut sandstone. So, a little bit of smooth, a little bit of cut, a little bit of chiseled. Sandstone wall would be great, because I need to get some things on the side of the minaret. I don't want to build more stairs, though. Grab a little bit of sandstone. And some sandstone stairs. 14? Odd number. 16, perfect. Of you. Good. Perfect. Okay. Okay. How do you dye terracotta? Melting colored terracotta, huh? Oh, you gotta do 8 at a time. I'm silly. White terracotta. Good, good, good. Yellow terracotta. Good. And the remainder inside here. Okay, let's bake in some of you. You. Alright, let's put back some of my dyes. Have I... I like this out, of course. Yellow goes back there. Red goes back there. Got tons of extra white dye, or red dye. No, I think it's stocked. I'm actually kind of proud of how I've set that, where not only do I have the dyes, but for the tricky to get dyes, I've also got all the things I need for farming. That was a nice move on my part. Okay, green. I have grass with me. I don't care for grass. I ditch it over here. Why not? Birch. Yeah, let's toss these eggs in here. Those guys can keep that. Ooh. I'm going to leave a stock of dripstone here for others. Alright, let's see what each looks like. White. Oh. Part of the problem, of course, is my texture pack kind of throws all this off. So, yeah. You do. Alright, I think with that, I've got all the glazed terracotta I need. So let's get working on that minaret. Do I go the long way or the short way? Short. Oh, but I don't have the scaffold on me, though. I'm needing that. That. I have been sleeping, so I don't have to worry about phantoms for a while. Excellent. There we go. Okay, now if I was going to do a little bit of fun with the stairs, this spot to do it. Of course, I make it possible for me to get back up. Okay, here we go. I'm on half slabs either. Alright, well, my original reference has it in certain directions. I think what I'll do... I have just sandstone slabs. Oh, shoot. Okay, I should make myself a couple of just sandstone slabs. I've got one smooth one. I need more than that. Yeah, this would be better. This is the center line right here, so I should mark it. That's half size, but that actually matches up perfectly. There's. You go there. You go there. Alright, so I'm gonna need just my sandstone. Oh, I don't think I need more. Oof, that was close. Tell you what, that's high enough for this. I can now come along and... Hang on. I should make you a little bit more open. Oh. Or in here. Yeah, I'm freestyling this a little bit, but Look at that. We got a nice little round opening right there. That I'm not necessarily going to be able to get up. I'll tell you what. That's... Okay, well, in the meantime, there. Back up here. Not gonna lie. Probably be another opening in there, but this one I'll make a little bit smaller. I think just 4 stairs a pop. Add a little bit more diversity to it. Do up as well, I think. Lantern. Dang it, I want it. Okay, so going to be at least 2 up. Pop you out. You out. You're going to be a stair up there. There we go. To be honest, it looks no different than if I just left a hole in there. I kind of prefer that look anyway. So I tell you what. Nice choice. Let's just leave it with a hole. Line with the center, please. A little bit lower. Yeah, but now might be the time to bring out that terracotta. Use some of my white glazed around here. How would you even just check what it looks like anyway? I definitely need something to break up the look of it. I'll pop out the axe. Nice, but I kind of prefer my yellow, quite frankly. Here we go. Look at that. That's so much nicer for me. And admittedly, it's going to look differently depending on... which texture pack you use, but work properly. These should be placed by going down. Lies. Exactly do I figure out a nice angle for that? Line blocks. Placing the blocks. Okay. It's just a matter of orientation then, huh? One. Yep. I've actually got to go up, point down. In this case, there we go. Right. Up. Hmm. Come back to it. All I really care about is the outside part. So. Interesting. Yeah, it is. Okay. So it's not simply down, but down facing that way. Okay. Right. Go up. Lining. Yay. Don't worry, I'll figure this out one of these days. There's really no way for me to do this, huh? What if I did this? Oh, well, there we go. Probably did it. What do I do for these ones? Almost that looked kind of ugly. Oh, I guess when in doubt, cut sandstone. Oh, chiseled would be better, I think. Probably looks better without texture packs. Whatevs, whatevs. Alright, with this out of the way. Probably should throw some color into there as well, too. So in my case, I think I'll add it along the bottom. No, along the bottom. I'll throw in green. Green is a good color. White, I gotta admit, I really like, though. I would say I think green might be a bit better for that. Okay. Well, might as well test this out. That is a bit of a problem. So much nicer if I just moved in. Actually, let's do it. I'm gonna make it a little bit off-center. In return, it'll work a lot better with those two right there. The idea here basically is to take this, pop, pop, pop. Oops. Oops. Out. Out. Where's my stair? Something like that. It's a little bit off center, but it's going to be really tough to tell unless you actually look very carefully at it. This one should be off center to this side, so this side in fact goes away. Means also you two gotta go away. Nope. Nope. Oh, I betcha. I moved out here. Attacked it from this angle. Ew, no. There we go. That I think I prefer. Now, of course, these ones gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Approach. Gotta go up there. There we go. Yeah, unless you knew what to look for, you would not be able to see that. you guys out. You back in, and now the fun bit. I'll go. Oh, okay, here we go. Put him in on the outside. Look too good. That worked. Oop. Oop. I did it. Yeah, it did. Sweet. Okay. Fizzled. Fizzled. Got these ones, huh? Yeah, okay. That implies you go there. Popped out. You get popped out. Go there. Yep. Wait, no, I did it from this angle, of course. See, that's not gonna work. I do up or is it down? Well, let's try up. Not up, then maybe down. Perfect. Okay. Finally. Chiseled. That should be chiseled. This should be sandstone. There we go. Alright, now let's put a layer of sandstone wall along here. And do I have my well, I've got 5 lamps. it's just walls, that's kind of... Maybe. All walls. Pop out you. Better? And I'll be honest, I don't really like this sort of abrupt quit. On the other hand, it does look a little bit more interesting than just I had before. Well, let's go with it for now. Pop. Alright, now this is where we get to serve the central part of the minaret. Go over here. This is where we sort of get to the octagonal kind of design within it. I got a basic plan for that. I'm gonna have to lay down some slabs though. Do I have enough? Let's use some basic sandstone. I want them to be bottom slabs, I want them to be top too. So, I can get away with it right here. Sweet. I have a little bit more room for scaffolding. There we go. I have to come back and fill you in, but gives me enough bite coming around through here. No, 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 no. Fill this in. Betcha this part will actually be taken up, although one corner. I'm actually going a little bit too much here. Certainly this front edge. Throw a layer like this for now. I'll decide exactly how I'm gonna power up in a mo. One thing it does add a little bit of complexity. I mean, I was thinking the raised, elevation portion wouldn't be the best, but it adds a little bit of flavor to it, quite frankly. Let's try and lay out how the center thing's going to go. You go there. Okay, so you guys go there. Up. No, 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 it's not boxy. Really less boxy than what I've got right now. I think I'll be able to get away with that, actually. Okay, okay. Okay. Right here. I guess worst case scenario, I'll come back up here and lower this down one. That works quite well. There we go. I did drop a few. Okay, no, I think I know how to handle this. Throw another layer of. I do. See how this white terracotta looks on the bottom. Okay, well, especially now that I've got sort of a consistent pattern to it as well. Well, let's mix that up. All right, I think I can like this. And then I come along with my stairs. Fortunately, if I'm doing this correct, I'm going to need to throw a block here. Uh, I admit it looks weird, though. It does. Ooh. In. Like that. And I'm not one for religious iconography, but technically it's a cross, which... Why exactly... No, this doesn't make any sense. Why would there be a cross in a Muslim thing? It doesn't make any sense. Do I just do a donut? Do a donut. There we... And then sort of a central thing up top. Alright. Or a donut with the other ones. But I think it sort of fits. Completely out of my yellow, sadly. Orange was relatively small, so the green was relatively small, so I could get away with it. Really well. I'm gonna need more white. I'm gonna need much more green. At least I can purchase green. Might as well just gaff up just a little bit. Oh. Works. Pop in some temporary sandstone. Those up there. Lanterns on each, of course. With this before. Another one there. Another there. That works out quite well. It's a bit weird though, and it's not like I have a shortage of cash to afford these lanterns, so should just do that. And then there'll be a central spire here, of course. Do I still have any? I do have some slabs, but not nearly enough to fill this in. Okay, I'll throw a little bit of slabs down there. And then some sort of spire with a dot on top. Well, I would like to... Well, no, I'll come back and open this up for... the whole plan, actually, this is to have it sort of accessible so that if you want to, you could actually come up here and snoop around. Head down. Through these holes? No. I have to go this way. That's alright. I need access to my mason. Don't have my monies. Go away. Alright, mason. Purple I don't think fits. But I'm gonna need 12 of these. Perfect. I want that. Okay. Where's a librarian? Oop. There we go. I get at least 7 for now. 2 extras just in case. Alright. I'll need more terracotta fill on those other sides, but I'll leave it for now. Sure. Wait, please. Thank you. Alright. Head on up. Oh, right. No, I can't yet. I need more slabs. Be smooth or flat? Oh, it's smooth, actually, since I've got a ton of them right here. You guys back for... I don't know, I'll keep a little bit around for consistency. But... I think I'll just stick with smooth. Okay. Well, obviously. Nice. Right, now how am I going to handle this design? Yeah, okay, perfect. Over? No. Around and over. Oop, there we go. I think that works. 3 different directions for those. The idea basically is boards. Oop. Works. I mean, I wouldn't call it the most coordinated one, but fits it. I think it fits it quite well. There's no, yeah, there was a couple of drop materials there. Okay. These ones are going to be bottom slabs. Oh. What do I want on here? Chiseled, I think, looks pretty good. Do I have some cut? Yeah, I got some cut. Choose cut. Chiseled. Throw one in there. Chiseled. This. Come on. Perfect. Okay. Cut. That. Lantern. I think that's a reasonable facsimile. Look at her from a distance. Alright, some of those obviously need a little bit of replacing. I need to go out and find some white terracotta. Yeah, these sides seem a little boring, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, well, I've got tons of chiseled. Let's take advantage. You at? Wandering trader around here. A few emeralds. Thank you, sir. Green coral, orange, alum, nope. Really need. Black dye is nice, but you know what? I'll get a little bit of black dye anyway, because why not? Why the hell not? Okay. Back up and see what this thing looks like from over here. Thing is, though, if you compare it to the original, there's sort of like a black top on top of it. If I've got any like sort of blackstone or anything I can throw on there. Or oh wait, I think I know. Got myself some copper, don't I? Now let's sacrifice a little bit of copper to the aesthetic altars. Now look at that. Give me all of it? No. Take all of it with me? Sure, why not? Oh yes, I should pop my dyes in too. Oh wow, well good thing I did buy a little bit of black. I see I don't have a lot. Alright, so throw 2 copper blocks up there. A lightning rod maybe? 3 copper ingots. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Lightning rod. Then a lantern on top. I think that'll work great. You can go back. Put half my copper in there just in case. I mean, the odds of me losing it due to death or something are basically 0, but yeah, but your slabs, you're fine. Perfect. Thank you. Alright, let's pop back outside. Oops. Floppy. That look. Like pretty reasonable. Obviously, I'm looking at it from the bad side, since this side right here is in need of the white terracotta. It works. Well, do I even want the white terracotta in there now? Solid green might actually work a little bit better when it comes to that. I guess I need to buy 16 more green. Yeah, I think that works better overall. Okay, do I have enough emeralds on me? Yes. Yep. Let's pop these back. Done with you for now. Gonna need a lot more sandstone walls, but I can worry about that later. Mason? Ah, no. It was over here, wasn't it? Goldsmith? No. There we go. Okay. Well, I want 16. I'm only gonna get 12. Yeah. Hope with it till tomorrow. In fact, encourage it to go to tomorrow. Alright, now alas, he's not going to be ready for a little bit. That should be enough time to get this bacon. Make a little room here. There we go. And wandering trader still outside? Here's a bit more of that. Thank you, sir. Okay. Let's handle my die while they're into position. Alright. Now it's time to rethink this as well, too. I definitely want to put some sort of mural in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, huh? A little narrow for my tastes. I think it would work. 3, 5, okay. Alright, so I'm gonna have to lay that out too mentally. Still gotta work. Okay. Let's give you a few more minutes. Oh, it'll work. There we go. I had 12, so I need 4 more. Who needs it? Actually, hang on a sec. Bring out. You need it. Make sure it can't go to anything but that. Good. I'll just bake you 4. Just why not? Yeah, that definitely helped it. You guys have all got to come out. Works. The upper row. From this side, so. Bet you I'm doing this wrong. No, I did it right. Okay, good. Go out. Down. There should be some leftovers within here. Yes, Ender Pearl. Awesome. I will take it. I don't think I have enough of those. Cool. Perfect. Alright. Got you 4. Switch over to something that can't take XP. Oh, I did it. Alright, whatever. Alright, finally. Wash off this. Ouch. Oh yeah, okay. You know what? Get rid of all of you. Oh, pretty much all of you. Oh, right, I never did complete this. Alright, on. Up, up, here, pillar here. Oops. Perfect, no. Do the trick. Need something to break it up. That side, I think, looks a lot better. It still needs more work. Yeah, I tell you what. Let's pop these two out. You. Out. You. Wash, rinse, repeat on the other side. Okay. Hers. I think that's reasonable. I mean, the green is maybe a little bit gaudy up top there, but it works. In worst case scenario, I just replace it with some of the yellow. Over here, figure out how exactly it looks. I don't know. That green still seems a bit weird to me. I think I'll have to sort it out another day. But yeah, I think that was a pretty productive stream. Finally got almost all my gear done. Just need to get Punch 2, I believe, and that will complete the set. In addition to that, of course, I did a fair bit of building to actually set up that minaret. And while it sort of tore into time I was going to use for the other entrances, I think it was definitely worth it, you know. I've got a good basic template. It might need some tweaking, though, to make it look a little bit less clashing, let's say. All right, well, I think that about does it for me, so I shall be seeing you next time.